Breaking news! Liverpool closing in on £45 million left back after player gives the green light. The club is now not expected to pay more than €85 million for the deal, with bonus payments likely to stop. Sky Sports reports that Liverpool now has its eyes on a £60 million monster, who is considered better than Ekitike and Sesko. Welcome, dear supporter. Stay tuned for the latest updates from the greatest club in the world. Liverpool is starting its summer transfer window with confidence, and the name of Milos Kerkez has emerged as a top priority in the new era under head coach Arne Slot. According to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, the Reds have already reached an agreement with the 21-year-old Hungarian left-back on personal terms. Kerkez, currently at Bournemouth, has shown excitement about the possibility of wearing the Liverpool shirt. According to Romano, the player is really convinced by the project, led by Slot, and can't wait to become a Liverpool player. In a YouTube update, the journalist revealed that the contract is ready, and everything is fine, from the player's side, reinforcing the optimism surrounding the deal. This optimism has also reached the fans, who see Kerkez as a chance to strengthen and energize the left side of the defense, a position that, in recent seasons, has lacked strong competition for Andy Robertson. The potential arrival of the young Hungarian is seen as a long-term investment and a step towards implementing Slot's new style of play. However, despite the player's enthusiasm, the deal is not yet complete. Negotiations between Liverpool and Bournemouth are still ongoing, and according to Romano, the two clubs are in direct contact to finalize the financial terms of the transfer. The understanding is that the deal is progressing behind the scenes, he reported, adding that the expectation is that everything will be resolved in the coming days. Bournemouth is believed to have set a price of around £45 million to release Kerkez, a figure that may spark internal discussions at Liverpool, especially during a period of technical and executive transition. Even so, the presence of influential figures like Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, who have strong relationships within the Premier League, could help bring the deal to a positive conclusion. Meanwhile, Kerkez is expected to join the Hungarian national team this Sunday to prepare for 2 Euro warm-up matches, against Sweden on June 6th and against Azerbaijan on June 10th. This call-up could delay the formal conclusion of the agreement, but personal terms are already settled, and the English club appears willing to wait. Despite the transfer buzz, the young defender has shown maturity. In an interview with MLSE TV, Kerkez commented, "Of course, something always leaks in the media, I don't know how, but I think it's normal that if you play well and your team is doing well, you end up in the headlines. I see it as fuel. It doesn't destroy me, but it also doesn't inflate my ego. It teaches me humility and motivates me." The player's online activity, including likes on posts linking him to Liverpool, has only fueled the speculation. He had already hinted at the possibility of a summer move, and now all signs point to the stars aligning for this transfer to happen. With a committed player, an enthusiastic coach, and an active board, only the final agreement with Bournemouth remains for another exciting chapter in Liverpool's recruitment strategy to be written. Darwin Nunez arrived at Liverpool in June 2022, surrounded by expectations and varied projections about the total amount Benfica could receive from the transfer. At the time, it was speculated that the deal could reach up to €100 million, considering performance-based goals and bonuses. However, as the seasons progressed and the player's performance was closely monitored, it became increasingly clear that the final value of the operation would not reach the expected ceiling. By law, Portuguese clubs are required to disclose the financial details of transactions involving their players. It was recorded that Liverpool initially paid €75 million to sign the Uruguayan striker, with the agreement including bonus clauses that could raise this amount by an additional €25 million. However, the activation of these bonuses depended on specific goals, such as the number of matches started and sporting achievements. Darwin Nunez had an impressive season before his transfer, scoring 34 goals in 41 matches for Benfica. Despite the strong numbers, they don't compare, for example, to the 54 goals scored by Victor Gyökeres in 52 games this current season, a reference point that helps contextualize the cost-benefit analysis of the deal. At the time of the transfer, the Portuguese press expressed surprise at the amounts involved, especially considering the conditional bonuses, Now, the newspaper asterisk, Ebola asterisk, has returned to the topic with an important update. Benfica will not receive a €5 million bonus that was tied to Darwin starting 25 matches in the Premier League or Champions League during the season. By March 2025, the player had already started 24 matches, and only one more start would have triggered the clause. However, the striker has not started a match since then, raising speculation that Liverpool is purposely avoiding the additional payment. According to Ebola asterisk, the English club is not expected to use Darwin as a starter in the remaining matches of the season, suggesting the player may be on his way out of Anfield. If the transfer is completed, the final amount paid by Liverpool to Benfica will be around €85 million instead of the €90 million that would have been reached with the extra bonus. This situation is mentioned alongside other recent bonuses Benfica will receive for goals achieved in other deals. For example, with João Neves winning the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain, the Portuguese club will receive an additional €6 million, bringing the total value of that transfer to €66 million. In Darwin's case, the financial expectations created at the start of the negotiation were not fully realized, and the relationship between the player and Liverpool may come to an end sooner than anticipated. The potential departure of Darwin Nunez this summer reinforces the idea that the Uruguayan's cycle at the Reds may be coming to a close. While he has shown flashes of quality and contributed with goals and assists, his inconsistent performance, along with tactical and financial concerns, may have convinced the club to explore new options, and in doing so, avoid further payments to Benfica. Liverpool is actively monitoring the market in search of a new striker, and the name of Victor Osimhen from Napoli has emerged as one of the top options to replace Darwin Nunez. According to Sky Sports, the Nigerian forward is among the club's priority targets, alongside players such as Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt and Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. Liverpool's board continues to evaluate alternatives to strengthen the attacking line, especially after a season in which Darwin Nunez lost prominence and disappointed at key moments. The Uruguayan's future is uncertain, and his departure could pave the way for a marquee signing. Although there is still interest in Alexander Isak from Newcastle United, his continuity at the club has become more likely after the team secured a spot in the Champions League, effectively removing him from the Reds' shortlist. Among Nunez's potential replacements, Hugo Ekitike is one of the most talked about, but he faces strong competition from Chelsea. According to German journalist Christian Falk from *Bild*, the London club is currently ahead in the race for the French striker, considered one of the most valuable young prospects in European football. Meanwhile, Liverpool's squad may undergo other changes. Luis Diaz, who had a productive season with 17 goals and 8 assists, is being targeted by Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo's team in Saudi Arabia. Barcelona also maintains a long-standing interest in the Colombian, which could directly influence Liverpool's planning for next season. Victor Osimhen is at a decisive point in his career. After an extremely successful loan season with Galatasaray, where he played a key role in winning both the Turkish League and the Turkish Cup, the striker is unlikely to return to Napoli. The relationship between the player and the club has deteriorated over the past year, and his departure is seen as inevitable. Napoli is reportedly asking for around £60 million to negotiate Osimhen, a figure considered accessible for a striker with his experience and output. This amount is lower than the release clause for Benjamin Sesko, which is around £70 million, and significantly less than Hugo Ekitike's estimated valuation of £84 million. These numbers highlight Osimhen as a financially attractive market opportunity. At 26 years old, Osimhen is at the peak of his physical and technical form. Although he played outside Europe's top 5 leagues this season, the Nigerian stood out in the Turkish Super League with consistent performances, crucial goals, and leadership on the pitch. Victor Osimhen is a top-tier striker whose attributes perfectly match Arne Slot's system at Liverpool. Praised by experts as the best forward currently available, he outshines rivals with consistent performance and experience in elite leagues. For Liverpool, signing Osimhen should be a top priority this transfer window. More than a replacement for Nunez, he's a significant upgrade and could be key to the club's return to the top. Thank you very much for watching until the end. See you next time.